What's up, comic book fans, and welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they call me, and today we got more gang war. This time with the final tie-in issue, Daredevil Gang War number 4. And with this gang war seemingly all over, leaving Tombstone as the top dog in the city, Daredevil still has a few stragglers left hanging around in Hell's Kitchen. And then there's the one issue of the assassin Bologna Kenny that's still out there. And if you guys need to get caught up with where Bologna and Daredevil left off, then I place a card up top and a link at the end of the video to the complete Gang War playlist. But aside from that, if you're ready to find out if Daredevil is able to take out the remaining super assassin with the DNA of Wolverine, then you guys know what time it is. Let's get it. So we picked this story up with Daredevil and Miles Morales' Spider-Man, and Spidey has just helped Daredevil clean up a few leftover AIM stragglers in Hell's Kitchen. And as Spider-Man acknowledges that Daredevil probably could have handled all of this on her own, Daredevil still appreciates the assistance. And as they finish up and Spider-Man heads back home, Daredevil is seen thinking to herself that it's adorable how idealistic Spidey is, but she just hopes that it doesn't get him killed. But now the only thing on her mind is the other assassin, Bologna. Because whether Bologna believed her or not when they last met, Elektra does understand her anger and where it comes from. As we then take a look back many years ago to a young Elektra during her training, and a young Elektra faced some really harsh training from tough teachers that were sometimes downright cruel. But she was able to keep her focus through it all. She was determined and wouldn't allow anybody to keep her down. She trained with masters and murderers, madmen and lovers. She'd even both killed and had been killed. But all of it made her who she is today, Daredevil. As we then see in present day, Daredevil doesn't have to go far to find Bologna, as Bologna finds her with the hopes of finishing their battle. But Daredevil is a little confused about why Bologna is still coming after her, with Madame Mask being the one formerly pulling Bologna's strings, but now put away. But Bologna's only response is that nobody controls her, and then she lunges into battle with Daredevil. As Daredevil thinks to herself that Bologna is relentless, and she really wants me dead. As Daredevil tries to appeal to Bologna, telling her that things don't have to go down this way. But Bologna is on a mission, and this time she isn't willing to listen to anything Daredevil has to say, as she then uses her claws to cut down a water tower, and the water immediately comes rushing down on Daredevil. And as she begins to swallow water and lose her footing, she's then thrown right off the top of the roof. And just as Bologna thinks that the fight is over and she's won, Daredevil is saved by her side, which she then hurls at Bologna, striking her in the chin with the handle. And now for Daredevil, it's time to take the gloves off. Bologna isn't looking to talk, so it's time for Daredevil to end this. It doesn't matter who hired her or who she's related to. She's a danger to everyone, and it's time for her to be stopped for good. As Daredevil is able to give Bologna a kick that sends her slamming down and impaling her arm on some broken debris. But as Daredevil notices Bologna is now hurt, she kind of goes softy on her again. But all that fades when Bologna rips her own arm from the debris and continues to attack. But again, Daredevil tries to convince Bologna that the war is over with. You have a chance to give this all up. Was the money that Mask paid you that much that you're willing to lose your life? But Bologna's response is that it isn't about the money or Madame Mask. It's to show that she can beat the great Elektra Nachios. So realizing that her words can do nothing to stop Bologna's ego, Daredevil comes to grips with it and is ready to give this one last lesson to Bologna. And now Daredevil starts to put a thorough ass whooping on Bologna. And Daredevil can tell that Bologna is now tired, but still resolved to win this fight. As she tells Bologna that she understands the assassin's code, but there's no way you can win here. But Bologna responds that some things aren't about winning. As Daredevil continues her ass whooping, she knows that Bologna just really wants a fight, so she's got one. But Bologna is angry and self-destructive, as Daredevil realizes that Bologna's true fight is with herself. Daredevil keeps the pressure on and manages to kick Bologna off the top of the rooftop. But Bologna isn't trying to stop her fall, so Daredevil throws her side down to catch Bologna. But Bologna refuses and cuts Daredevil's line before smashing down into the ground. And now Daredevil is left wondering if she should have done more to try to save her, that she really didn't want to kill Bologna. And as she looks down at Bologna lying there on the concrete, Daredevil hopes that Bologna heals like Wolverine does. But then she's called by Spider-Man, who wants to check in with Daredevil. Although Daredevil barely pays him any attention because she's still focused on Bologna, hoping that she'll heal. But then she asks for clarification of which Spider-Man it is that she's talking to. And when he confirms, he then asks Daredevil to meet up for a little chat. So when we see them meet up later on, we can see that Bologna is still on Daredevil's mind, as she thinks that maybe she shouldn't have left her there alone. But Spider-Man mainly just wanted to touch base with Daredevil and make sure that she was okay. Things had gotten crazy during that final gang war battle, and Spidey knows that Daredevil isn't really used to being the hero. But he wanted to let her know that she did a really good job out there. And although Daredevil doesn't really need approval, she still admits to Spidey that it's nice. And she lets Spidey know that Matthew always said that he was a good man, which Spider-Man appreciates. And when he continues to talk, Daredevil continues to pay him no mind. It's just blah, 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 blah. She's still focused on Bologna, that Bologna was a hired gun and wasn't really in this fight for herself. So what's changed now? Was it all just to prove something to herself? Do we just rain down chaos on everybody? We have to do better. We can't just leave blood in our wake. As now Spider-Man realizes that she's not paying him any attention, so he tries to get her to snap out of it. Then Daredevil finally responds that she may be dead. Who? Spidey asks. Then Daredevil finishes. Bologna. She was hired by Madame Mask to distract me. Then Spidey asks Daredevil if she killed her, to which Daredevil replies that she did not. While she thinks to herself that no matter what she does, some of these heroes will always see her as just Elektra the assassin. But she's done with this conversation with Spider-Man now, since she really wasn't into it to begin with anyway. And as Spider-Man tries to let her know that he wasn't done talking, she swings off, letting him know that she was done listening. Then we see Daredevil later on back in Hell's Kitchen. After her lecture from Spider-Man, she decided to go back and find Bologna, but there was no sign of her, except for the blood stain on the pavement, as she now acknowledges that the sun sets on one battle, but tomorrow, it'll rise on another. Hell's Kitchen, I'll fight for you. I'll fight for my home. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of this issue and the official end to this gang war event. So what did you guys think about this story and this gang war as a whole? I thought overall the event was kind of meh, but there were some good things in it. I did like the whole Shang-Chi part of this war, and I liked the Hydra stuff using Spider-Woman's own son against her. I also enjoyed the battles between Bologna and Daredevil, but this final issue left me wanting a little bit more between them. But maybe this will be the start of Bologna as one of Elektra's new main villains, so we'll just have to wait and see. But I also thought that this Daredevil series had the best artwork of the entire gang war event. So big shout out to Sergio Davila and the rest of the art team, because this series was an absolute joy to look at visually. But what did you guys want to see from this gang war event? And did you like how they used it to finally repeal Fisk Law so that now supers are legal again in New York? But you guys go ahead and meet me in the comments. I really want to see how you guys felt about this series. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and this channel, and you'd like to support the channel, then you can do so by joining the Iconic Fan Club channel membership. And there'll be a link in the description to join, but with your membership, you'll gain access to weekly interactive live streams with yours truly, where we could talk about everything that's been going down in these issues, as well as others that you'd like for me to go over in the future, and other comic book news and shows as well. Plus, you guys will get loyalty badges, member shout-outs, and more in these videos. Or you guys can donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do that, then you can still be a huge help to the channel by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm out. Peace.